Hey guys, today we will be learning about adding and subtracting decimals. This is 6th grade content, but it will be a 5th grade review. Florida Best Standards. The first one is adding and subtracting decimals, and the second one is adding and subtracting decimals but word problems. Adding decimals. When adding decimals, it is almost identical to adding whole numbers. For example, 0.6 plus 0.4 is similar to 6 plus 4. The only difference is that when you add 0.6 and 0.4, you get 1, but when you add 6 plus 4, you get 10. The numbers are in different place values. To make it easier to understand adding decimals, we can use this example, 0.3 plus 0.7. Adding 0.3 and 0.7 is the same as saying 3 tenths plus 7 tenths. When you add 3 and 7, but in tenths, you get 10 tenths, which is equal to 1. And here is the diagram that I showed. It shows 3 tenths plus 7 tenths will equal 10 tenths, which is just 1. Adding decimals, continuing. Example 2, 0.5 plus 0.3. Step 1, add the tenths place first, 5 and 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Keep the 0 that is in the ones place. So as you can see a 0 that is after the 0 point, that's after the 0.5 and after the 0.3. So you have to keep it there. Write the final answer. And the answer is 0.8. Example 3, 1.2 plus 2.3. Step 1, since there is a ones place that is not 0, add that first. 1 plus 2 is 3, since 1 and 2 are both the ones place. Step 2, add the tenths place. 2 and 3 equals 5. Step 3, write the final answer, 3.5. The ones place is 3 and the tenths place is 5. Adding decimals, continuing again. Here is a visual part of example 3 since I wasn't able to fit in the last one. Now, example 4. We're going to use 2 decimal places. 2.25 plus 1.90. For this equation, adding the tenths will be greater than 1. So here's how to do it. Add the ones place, 2 plus 1 equals 3. Add the tenths for step 2, but since 2 plus 9 is equal to 11, bring the 1 over to the ones place and leave the other value of 1 in the tenths. So 2 plus 9 equals 11, which means the 3 from the ones place from step 1, you have to add that with 1, which equals 4, and your ones value will be 4. Step 3, write the final answer. Remember to add the hundredths. 2.25 plus 1.90 equals 4.15. And I also showed another diagram here of it. And the last slide of adding decimals. Lastly, we will add a decimal with a whole number. Example 5, 10.25 plus 8. To make this easier, let us put a placeholder of 2 zeros behind the 8. 8 will go to 8.00. It is still the same number, but with 2 zeros behind the decimal point. Step 1, add the whole number values first. 10 plus 8. Step 2, add the numbers behind the decimal point. 0.25 and 0.00. Write the final answer, 18.25. Subtracting decimals. Just like adding decimals is similar to adding whole numbers, subtracting decimals are almost identical to subtracting whole numbers. For example, 1.3 minus 1.1 is similar to 13 minus 11. The difference is that 1.3 minus 1.1 is 0.2 and 13 minus 11 is 2. They have different numbers, but they are in different place values. Subtracting decimals, continuing. Example 1, 2.3 minus 1.6. Since the 10th value of the second decimal is higher than the 10th value of the first decimal, here's what you do. So the second decimal is 1.6 and the first decimal is 2.3. So as you see here, I subtracted 2.3 minus 1.6. So what I did, I crossed off the 2 and I put 1. I took 1 away from the 2 so that I can transfer that 1 to the 3, and that makes it turn from 3 to 13. Now, we're able to subtract 13 and 6, which gives you 7. And then go back to the ones place. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it says here, you have to cross out the 2 and subtract 1 from it. Then you are left with 1. The extra value of 1 will be put together with 3 as 13. Now you can subtract 13 and 6, which is 7, and subtract 1 and 1, which gives you 0. The final answer would be 0.7. And I also showed a diagram of it right here. And the last slide of subtracting decimals. And this time we're also going to use 2 decimal places. Example, 2.75 minus 1.25. Step 1. Subtract the whole numbers. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Step 2. Subtract the numbers behind the decimal points. 0.5 minus 0.25 equals 0.5. And then step 3 is to find the answer. Since the ones place is 1 and the tens place is 5, your answer would be 1.5. And adding decimals with a word problem. Here is the example. Brian wants to buy 1 pack of pencils and 1 notebook for school. The pack of pencils costs $3.40 and the notebook costs $4.57. How much does the pack of pencils and the notebook cost together? Step 1. See how much the pack of pencils and notebook cost. $3.40 and $4.57. Step 2. Add $3.40 and $4.57. Step 3. Find the answer by adding the ones and then adding the 2 decimal places. 3 plus 4 and 0.40 plus 0.57. When you do that, 3 plus 4 equals 7, which is the ones place, and 0.40 plus 0.57 is 0.97, so that is the tenths and the hundredths place. So, the pack of pencils and the notebook will cost $7.97 altogether. Subtracting decimals with a word problem and some addition. Nick has $1,050.25 in his bank account. He decides to withdraw $450 from it. Then he deposits $200 back into his account. How much money does Nick have now after he withdraws and deposits money? Withdrawing money is taking out money, and depositing money is adding money. Step 1. Since you subtract $1,050.25 and $450, you are withdrawing $450. Your answer will be $600.25. Add $600.25 and $200 since you are depositing $200. Your answer will be $825. Nick will have $800.25 after withdrawing $450 from $1,050.25 and depositing $200 into the account. Thank you.